Government was not able to meet its liabilities. We do not have enough assets to take care of the needs of people who have invested in government assets, and so government found itself in a real challenge, and that was why we went through the institutions. It can also affect government. So that is the basic difference when it comes to liquidity and solvency. Solvency is real issue. No, you are illiquid, and you are not also able to convert your capital or your assets in order to meet your long-term liabilities. And as we said, what are the contributing factors to this solvency challenge? One has to do with excessive debt, and I think that was the issue for Ghana. We had borrowed so much that we were not able to, pay our debt. And so with those high level of borrowings, it can lead to your inability to take care of this debt, and that will lead to solvency. So on the part of an institution, if you've given out enough loans to people to the tune that we are not able to recoup all these loans, definitely those debts can lead to solvency. And then declining asset values. As I explained with the mortgage issue, the assets, the houses, the prices of those houses dropped significantly. And so if this happens, definitely it can lead to a solvency challenge for the institution. And then of course, when the economic downturns, it can also affect an institution to the extent that its solvency could be affected. And then poor risk management. If you are not able to manage your risk well, and you sit there and those risks crystallizes, definitely it will affect your financials. I explained the other time, when you say risk facing an institution, it has to do with product and service of the institution, it has to do with customers of the institution, it has to do with geographical location of the institution, and then if you are not able to manage all these risks well as an institution, it can lead to solvency challenge for you. It's about bankruptcy risk. It can lead to bankruptcy. You can go off. And what happened in the US, about 2 banks had to collapse because of that challenge. And then loss of stakeholder confidence. In the case of Ghana, as you recall, during our debt settlement program, there was this issue in the public domain. Because of this, the citizens will lose confidence in buying government bonds and all that. Or should this happen to an institution? I'm not sure anyone will want to go and put their money there again. And so you lose confidence with your stakeholders. And ultimately, this can lead to systemic risk. And when you say systemic risk, it means that the risk is affecting the entire industry. Probably this issue happened with Bank A, and because Bank A is not able to manage their solvency well, it can affect the entire banking system. And so solvency is a serious issue. For liquidity, well, we can just manage it, but for solvency, it means that things are really getting bad. And so institutions must make sure it do not get to this extent. Recapitalization, so that should there be any solvency issue, we can able to address it. As I explained to you guys the other time, the reason for recapitalization of our banks was the fact that assets of the banks were really bad. I told you that IMF did a survey in our banking system and came up with a report that the institutions their assets are getting bad. And when we say institutions' assets are getting bad, what it means is that their liquidity or their loans in those institutions, they are getting bad, and they've overcome their assets. So if their liabilities are more than their assets, it means that the asset quality of those institutions are very bad. And in this extent, we said then they should increase their capital such that they can able to knock off those issues that have to do with their capital adequacy. Debt restructuring. And so what Ghana did was not out of place. It's part of economics. That at any point in time, as an institution or as a government, if you get to a point where debt has overshadowed you, you've gone through solvency challenge, you can meet your debtors. Challenge at the end of the day, I have to say the truth. Things are not going on well, but I am not saying I will not pay. But please give me some time to pay. That was what we did. And so when you get to debt restructuring, because we have something we call haircut. And what it means is that either you negotiate with the customer to give you more time to pay, or you negotiate with the customer to reduce the amount of interest you are supposed to pay. These are what goes through debt restructuring. And I think Ghana, we pleaded for long time to pay and also pleaded for some reduction in the interest rate. So either you implement the two or you implement one, depending on the negotiation you go through with those whose you are owing. And so addressing solvency, debt restructuring is part of it. And then we have asset management. Asset management. There are some assets you might see that these assets are not really giving me, returns. You remember the Senate issue when Senate wanted to sell their stake in some hotels, and it became an issue here in Ghana. I mean, if you're an institution and you have some assets that you see these assets are not really giving me return, sell them off from your financials, and you can move on, because some of them you could see that you are spending even more on those assets than you are getting from them. And so it will be more sense if you have those assets in your balance sheet and you are going through solvency challenge, sell off those assets, get enough cash, and shore up your financials, and you can able to solve your solvency challenge.